Most people think billion-dollar businesses are born out of genius ideas. Wrong. They're born out of messy, scrappy decisions that almost no business school would ever recommend. Take Sarah Blakely, for example. She wasn't an expert in fashion, she wasn't backed by investors, and she had no business plan. What she did have? A $5,000 savings account and an obsession with fixing one annoying problem: uncomfortable pantyhose. Fast forward a few years, she built Spanx, a company worth over $1 billion, all because she thought differently. And today, we're diving into 7 mindsets that flip the rules upside down. The same mindsets that turn regular people into unstoppable entrepreneurs. And don't worry, I'm not going to take an hour to explain this. I'll break it down in the simplest way possible. That's what this channel is all about. Making big ideas easy to understand. So let's start. Mindset 1. Say yes before you're ready. Most people overthink opportunities. They wait until they have the money, the experience, the credentials, or the perfect timing. But the truth? Those things rarely arrive. Entrepreneurs move anyway. Richard Branson didn't know the first thing about running an airline. He was running a record label, of all things. But when one of his flights got cancelled, he saw an opportunity. He rented a plane, borrowed a blackboard, and wrote, Virgin Airlines, $39 one way. Passengers bought tickets and boom, Virgin Atlantic was born. The lesson? Most life-changing opportunities won't show up when you feel ready. You say yes, and then figure it out along the way. Entrepreneurs thrive in the chaos most people try to avoid. Mindset 2. Obsess over problems, not products. Big companies love tweaking products. New flavor, new logo, new packaging. But those changes don't matter if they're not solving a real problem. Entrepreneurs think differently. They obsess over problems. Take Airbnb. The product, an air mattress in someone's living room, sounds ridiculous. But the problem was real. Hotels were expensive and booked out during events. By solving that problem, Airbnb tapped into something much bigger than a quirky product. When you focus on solving problems, people will pay you to make their lives easier. And here's the secret. Problems never run out. The bigger the pain, the bigger the opportunity. Mindset 3. Start narrow, then expand. The temptation for most beginners is to go big immediately. Big audience, big product, big dreams. But entrepreneurs know that starting small, painfully small, is the fastest way to grow. Nike is the perfect example. They didn't launch as a global sports brand. They focused on one tiny niche: elite distance runners. At the time, running shoes weren't built for long distances. They caused shin splints and injuries. Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman solved that specific pain for that narrow group. Once they dominated that market, expansion came naturally. Entrepreneurs don't try to win the world on day one, they win a corner of it. And then they scale outward. Mindset 4. Get cash upfront. Most people spend years building a product before seeing a single dollar. Entrepreneurs flip the script. They collect money first, then deliver. Tesla is the best example. Before even manufacturing the first Roadster, they sold 100 cars at $100,000 each. That gave them $10 million in cash to start building. Years later, when they launched the Model 3, nearly 500,000 people placed $1,000 deposits. That's $500 million in cash before the car even existed. Why does this work? Because money up front proves 2 things. 1. People actually want it, and 2. You have the resources to build it. Entrepreneurs know cash flow isn't just survival, it's leverage. Mindset 5. Borrow what you can. Most people think they need to own everything before starting. Entrepreneurs know ownership slows you down. Borrowing gets you moving faster. Take Go Ape Adventure Parks in the UK. The founders didn't buy forests, land, or parking lots. They partnered with the Forestry Commission, which already had all of it. Go Ape simply added their climbing gear and ropes. That partnership turned borrowed land into a thriving business. The point? Don't let "I don't own it" stop you. Partnerships, rentals, collaborations, these are tools entrepreneurs use to scale without debt. Mindset 6. Act first, ask later. Rules and regulations are designed for what already exists. Innovation almost always breaks them. That's why entrepreneurs often act first and deal with permission later. Uber is the classic case. If Travis Kalanick had asked regulators in San Francisco, "Can we launch a taxi service without taxis?" the answer would have been no. Instead, they launched, built traction, and only then dealt with the legal mess. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about being reckless or illegal. It's about moving fast when systems haven't caught up to new ideas. If you wait for a green light, someone else will take the road first. Mindset 7. Keep reinventing. Entrepreneurs don't stop at one success. They keep evolving. Reinvention isn't optional. It's survival. Look at Amazon. They started by selling books, then moved to electronics, then cloud services, then streaming. Now they're in healthcare, AI, and logistics. Jeff Bezos famously said, "Amazon is not too big to fail." That mindset kept them constantly reinventing. The world changes fast. Customers evolve. Technology evolves. If you don't reinvent, you get replaced. Entrepreneurs don't get attached to their first success. They treat it as the launchpad for the next. So let's zoom out for a second. You've just seen 7 mindsets that most schools, companies, and even experts will never teach you. Notice something? Every single one of these mindsets breaks the rules we're taught. And that's exactly why they work. Because the people who follow the rules usually end up building safe, predictable lives, while the people who bend them are the ones who build billion-dollar companies. Now here's the challenge for you. Which of these mindsets do you already have? And which one do you need to start practicing today? Maybe it's saying yes to something scary. Maybe it's solving a problem you've been ignoring. Maybe it's finally launching before you feel ready. Pick one and apply it. Don't just watch and nod. Take one mindset and test it in your own life or business this week. And if this breakdown opened your eyes, hit that like button, share it with someone who's chasing big goals, and subscribe for more. Because here's the promise of this channel. I'll never waste an hour of your time. I'll always explain big ideas in the simplest way possible, so you can take action, not just take notes. Remember this: rules create employees. Breaking the right rules creates entrepreneurs. Now go make it happen.